Okay, the first thing I want to say about this anime is I love the attention to detail about this. Everything about it, I think it's one of those shows you have to watch all 12 episodes, then go back and watch it all again because you're in for a completely different story. It just has that potential to be one. Based on the fact that the last episode, we see that Satoru gets thrown into the lake and you assume he dies. When the opening intro comes on, it's exactly the same as it always is, except Satoru has been erased from, like, every scene. It's really powerful. Like, I was watching it, I was like, wow, I didn't realise what was happening at first until I saw it. Because you always get the young one that comes and sits in the theatre, and the old one, then they never came. I thought it was brilliant. So before I start this review, I just want to quickly say something to everyone who's been watching these reviews and has commented in the comment section. I just want to say how grateful I am to you guys because I have stopped myself from reading the manga. I'm one of them people that like to spoil things for myself because I just can't wait. But with this, I was so intrigued by the story and the mystery of who it could be and what could happen that I held off from doing that. And everyone in the comment section, you have been really great because you haven't spoiled it at all. So I just want to say thank you to you guys because this twist that's happened now, I didn't see it coming and it's blew my mind. So the episode opens up with this monologue. You realise it's the teacher talking and he's basically telling a story from his childhood. He says that this girl, when he was at school, came into class who had a pet hamster and the hamster had bred and had like 12 little hamster pets or however many there was. And she asked if anyone in the class would like them. And the teacher, Mr. Yashiro, well, young Yashiro, he says that he'd gladly take them and look after them. And he takes them, he goes after school, he finds this bottle, fills it up with water and just chucks all the hamsters in and kills them all. But he says that one of the hamsters, it crawled on top of another one, survived that way. And he was so amazed by this that he kept it. He called it Spice. I don't know if there's like a significant name from Spice. He kept it and basically cared for it for, I don't know, however long. He never said he did anything to it. Now, this story is important because it shows that he had a sadistic nature when he was a child. Things that you can kind of tell, like that's how serial killers are kind of like recognised if they start like abusing animals. That's like the step before they start doing it to people. Well, he's telling this story and he starts to link it. He says, well, there was also this one kid who I tried to drown him and yet he didn't die, so I kept him and named him Spice. Now, I've never had like chills watching like anime before because I don't think I've ever been that like emotionally involved, but the teacher's like, he gets right up to the microphone and he whispers to him, says, and that kid was you, Satoru. And just the way, like if he was wearing headphones and listening to it, it scared the shit out of you. It really made me worry. As well, he tells the story of this person. There's a level in The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, I think, that does it. This guy, he was a bit of a knobhead. The only nice thing he ever did before he died was he let a spider live. And this spider, like, sends this, like, string down to hell for him so he can crawl his way up out of hell. But he starts being a prick while he's climbing up in it, and all these other people are trying to get up as well, so he kicks them all off. The string snaps and he falls back down to hell. And he says that all of his victims, all these like distant children who have no friends and things like that, he can see this like strand above the head, and you even see Satoru, he has one as well. So some time passes forward, you don't realise it at first, but it's actually 15 years. We've got Satoru's mom that's going shopping, she comes home, she looks at all these pictures of Satoru on the wall, and she goes into his room, there's Satoru in a coma in his bed. And he's just happened to wake up 15 years later. So somehow the teacher has put him into this coma, and I assume he's somehow managed to like erase his mind. I don't know if that is actually what he did, because Satoru actually regains his memory at the end of the episode. So after Satoru shouted that, I know your future, Mr. Yashiro, he must have dove in, got him out, somehow put him in a coma, or maybe he was in a coma after that. And he's been waiting 15 years to meet him again. We'll find all this out in the next episode, but this is crazy so far. So Satoru's mom has actually been looking after Satoru for 15 years. She's been like caring for him. She's been doing all these exercises so he doesn't lose all his like muscle mass, so that he'd be able to grow and like things like this. So it just shows like how willing this woman is and like how much she's done for him. She's really the star of this show, to be honest with you. Mom, come here. Mom?
Hello.
I appreciate you.
Thanks.
You go make me a sandwich. See you later.
Oh my god.
And we get something quite different now. When Satoru was a kid, he thought in the voice of his adult self. Now he's an adult again, but he thinks in his younger, like, child self, which is weird. And there's a moment where the doctor's talking to him, saying that I'm going to show you yourself in your mirror now. Now this is going to be quite frightening because the last time you saw yourself, you were like 11 years old, and now you're 26. So obviously, can you imagine just like one day you're 11, you go to sleep, you wake up again, and now you're older, you're 15 years old. That'd like blow your mind. Because at this point, Satoru hasn't regained his memory, so yeah, crikey. Also, when he tries to think back about what happened, his memory's all blurred and he can't quite remember everything. So this is where like my favourite part of the episode comes in. We've got older Kenya, the boy-girl looking chap who's now, they're all his age. They come in to say hello to him. And we get to see him that they're older. And it's crazy, really. Kenya says he wants to talk to him about something, but their mum wouldn't let him. So I'm interested to see what that could be. Because you remember, Kenya was a great guy, except for that one moment when he was talking to the teacher with like an evil look. So I'm hoping that has nothing to do with anything. So we'll have to see what that's all about. So yeah, hopefully it's good news. There's only a few anime that has ever made me cry. Clannad is a great example. Clannad After Story. The main character in that goes through some pretty horrible shit. I'm man enough to admit that I might have cried during that. I didn't cry in this, but I got very, like, welled up. Like, I felt really, like, compelled. Because you see Hinazuki, she comes through the door as an adult. Like, she's alive. She's got her own kid. That was amazing to see. Like, that was great. I, like, really felt. They named the kid Mirai, M-I-R-A-I, which means future in Japanese, which, if you've watched Mirai Nikki, I hope that child doesn't grow up to be a psychopath. Yeah, it's an interesting name, future, pretty cool. Hinazuki thanks him because, thanks to Satoru, she was able to grow up, have a family, because she was alone once, and it's all because of you, so she says thank you. Satoru kind of doesn't really realise why, he doesn't think he did anything to sort of help, and that's probably just the memory loss talking, but yeah. That was great. And there's also a nurse that walks past with her face turned away, and for some reason I thought that was Ayuri. I don't know, that seems a bit like that can happen. I feel like Ayuri still has like a big part to play in this future part. I don't know what yet. I also thought she could have been that young girl's, the one who needs the bone marrow transplant. I thought that might have been her older sister she's getting the transplant from. But I can't remember if she said if she had any family or anything like that, so I'm not too sure just yet. If you know the answers to these questions that I've just been throwing out there, then please let me know in the comment section below. So everyone that seems to be coming to visit Satoru in the hospital while he's recovering seems to like know something from 15 years ago. The private investigator guy, he comes and he seems to know something, but they can't talk about it because their mom doesn't want to talk about anything. Kenya seems to know something. There's some photographers outside that all like kind of want to get a picture of the kid that's been in a coma for 15 years, and these people are taking a picture of Satoru while he's with a kid saying, ah, this is great. Some adult who was a kid when he went into a coma is like talking to kids. That's good stuff, and they're taking pictures, and some guy comes, grabs the camera, rips all the film up and says, you want to get out of here, you're breaking and entering and stuff, and it pans up and it turns out it's the teacher who's come to visit Satoru 15 years later. Oh shit. So the teacher says to him that he's waited 15 years. He heard about it pretty much almost instantly when it happened. He seems to have some business with Satoru. Obviously Satoru doesn't recognise him, or at least we don't believe he recognised him at first because he's just having a casual conversation with him. And the teacher kind of sticks around. He keeps visiting him over and over as Satoru's like recovering. And he's also visiting this girl that needs the bone marrow transplant. You see him, he puts down a phone. And what I think he's doing is that's going to be his next victim. And he's kind of framing Satoru, so that phone's going to have something to do with Satoru. He also asks Satoru if he can have a word with him in private. He wheels him off into this elevator, which is like a bit creepy. And he asks him specifically to press the button, so I don't know if that was trying to get his fingerprints on there as well. So, yeah, it's not looking good. So he takes him to the roof, it's raining, it's all dramatic, and the teacher steps away for a second. Satoru just turns to him and goes, Mr. Yashiro. He looks back, I remember everything. So at some point at waking up in his coma, through his rehabilitation, probably just after meeting Mr. Yashiro, he remembered everything. So the next episode, which is the last episode I want to keep in mind, so everything's going to have to really like happen in the next one. It'll be interesting. But yeah, that was the episode. It ends there. It's another cliffhanger. Well, if I had to guess what was going to happen though, I think that obviously Mr. Yashiro, he's trying to frame Satoru for this very last murder. He's been planning for 15 years. I don't know if he got any information out of Satoru in the past, but we'll have to see. I think Satoru might be a bit more physically able than he's been letting on. He might be able to get up, he might have a weapon on him that he might be able to attack the teacher with, I don't know. I think the mom might still have a part. The mom and Ayuri, I still think they might do a bit more, but I'm not sure just yet. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave a like, favourite and subscribe. Just leave me loads of thoughts and theories below what's going to happen in this final episode. Let me know what you thought of this episode in general. How creepy was that whisper at the start? How awesome was it seeing Hinazuki alive again with a kid? Yeah, just let me know, and thanks for watching. Right then guys, so recently I subscribed to Loot Crate. Specifically I subscribed to Loot Anime. They specialise in sending Loot Anime related stuff, and I thought that I'd do an unboxing for you guys and show you the kind of stuff I got. Unfortunately I'm in the future, so I've already opened it all, so I know what I get. This is what the box looks like after you've turned it inside out. It's kind of like a treasure chest, which we're going to see a treasure chest worth of stuff inside. Also I'm wearing, spoiler, a t-shirt. You'll see more of that later. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Here we go. Right then, here we go. Welcome to the unboxing. First things first, let's get through this protective layer, which